everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals, and this is a new journal that I am working in at the moment. It is actually made from a book that I picked up from an op shop or a thrift shop, and I made this journal intentionally for this course, which is called Unfurling by Tiffany Julia. So some of you might know this course already and might already be doing it, but if not, I'm going to link Tiffany Julia's channel down below in the description box and her course. And I'll chat about how I got into courses and what they mean to me in this video. So a bit of a journey in this video and share sort of what I've done so far. But basically, okay, so this is the fun story. Back in 2021, my favorite channel, YouTube channel, became Tiffany Julia's channel. And I just loved the way that she journaled and her style. We both love Amity Bloom style and colors. So right there and then you can kind of tell that I would probably like Tiffany Julia's journals. She does art journals and junk journals and sort of scrapbook style journaling, that kind of thing. And her room has this really cool mint wall, which will come into something later when I'll share about that. But anyway, I can't remember how I discovered her channel. It might have been just randomly through YouTube or through another channel sharing her channel, or through Get Messy May or something like that. But anyway, I fell in love with her channel, especially in 2021. And she was talking about a course that she was doing with Liz Lamoureux. And from there, I started taking courses from Liz Lamoureux, and they were the very first journaling courses I ever took. So I ended up getting her book as well. So this is Inner Excavation, and look at this. This is so right up my alley, you know, photography and journal pages, and has journal prompts. And so one day I really want to make my way through this as well and do these prompts. So some wonderful inspiration there. But yeah, I was taking all these courses through Liz Lamoureux in 2021 at a time when I was going through a bit of a rough time in my life. So I originally started doing courses to sort of essentially for my well-being, to keep me afloat. And at that time, throughout 2021, 2022, I felt kind of a bit lost and empty and lacking inspiration. There were some days I was literally just crying and crying and crying because I felt like I'd lost all inspiration, that kind of thing. And what got me back, what held me together, what gave me inspiration was journaling courses. So this is why I'm a big fan and always recommend them. Whenever people say, you know, what do I do to start a journal? How do I get started? How do I journal when I have no inspiration? I always recommend either journaling prompts or a journaling course. There are definitely lots of free courses out there, and lots of channels share prompts and challenges. But I found what worked for me was doing paid courses, because I don't know, it just felt more special, more intense, more what I needed at the time for structure and accountability. And I have not looked back. So I basically have decided that I will continually take courses as a way to feed my soul, to nurture my soul, as a way essentially to look after my mental health, as a way essentially to look after my well-being. So yeah, I just have been doing course after course after course. And from doing these courses, I rekindled my own dream to teach courses, which I've had ever since I was, you know, much younger. So before I even discovered junk journals, I've been a lifelong journaler. And my original dream was to teach writing courses, journaling, just straight journaling courses. But I put that dream aside because junk journals kind of took over my entire life in 2017. And so my writing dream kind of got pushed aside, and junk journals hijacked everything. But like I said, through 2021, 2022, I kind of lost myself. I lost my dreams. I didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. And through these courses, it felt like I reconnected with myself again and was just really inspired again and got my dreams back. And that dream of teaching courses came back to me with a passion. And so in 2021, I started teaching my very first journal course, which is the Willow journal course, like a journaling basics course, which was so exciting to even just tick off that dream, just at least once in my life. But from there, I ended up teaching the Anchor journal course, which I'm super proud of that course. It's one of my favorite courses that I've ever taught, and it's still available if anyone does want to join that one. And it was the course that I needed at the time for me. So all of my courses that I teach are courses that I myself need to do myself. And so the Anchor Journal course was about finding my anchors at a time when I was feeling super, super lost and like I was just floating. The Anchor Journal course was something that grounded me, helped me find my foundation and all that kind of thing. And then after that, did more courses, the art therapy course. We've done free courses on my channel, inspiration course, the list journal course, and some faith Bible journal courses. And then it led me to the intentional life course, which became this whole other thing, and I'm running that for the third time this year. And that kind of became more than just a journal course and became, a life course where as I was writing it and writing the prompts, I realized it wasn't just me sharing journaling prompts, it was sharing things about how I live, how I actually set up my life and how I live intentionally and that kind of thing, with all different areas, with, creativity, with not just the journaling and creative side, but with like time and finances and personal values and self-care, and all of it kind of wrapped up into one. And so that has been really, really amazing, combining sort of my love of creativity and journaling with my love of living with purpose and intention. Anyway, so from Liz Lamoureux, I discovered in this book a recommendation to another book, Spilling Open by Sabrina Ward Harrison. And this book changed my life. This book blew me out of the water and is just the most inspiring thing in my entire life. One of those life-changing moments. When I discovered Johanna Clough's junk journal videos back in 2017, that changed my life and set my life onto the junk journal path. This book changed my life in a big way in 2021, where I discovered that I could publish books that looked like that looked like journals. So far, I've only published books that tend to look like normal, just novels or normal art books, like just with one photo at the top and writing down the bottom. I'd never seen a published memoir that had photos and art and paint and mixed media, things that look like my actual journals. And so that just opened my mind. And then I took the bookmaking course, Liberate, with Sabrina Ward Harrison last year. And that's where I created my own book. Well, I'm still creating it. I'm definitely about halfway through. I finished chapter 1 and chapter 2, laying out all the pages, and chapter 3 is mostly done. And I just want to give you like a sneak peek of that and how this kind of comes in full circle, just sharing my journey. Here's some pages from my book. You're getting a bit of a sneak peek. So you can see my book pages are very much looking like what you'd see in one of my journals. And I love that. And these are all pieces from my story. This is my grandpa's typewriting. This is a slide negative from my childhood home. This is a ribbon from my sister. This is a patty pan, like ephemera. And this, that doily came from my grandma. Oh, this paper came from my grandma. But I want to share this too. Mint became my colour of the year in 2021, inspired by Tiffany Julia. And here's a bit of a timeline and just some words that I've written for my book. So those are 3 pages, examples of pages in my book. And there are 4 chapters in it. The first chapter, they're all kind of color-coded in my mind. And the first chapter is the mint chapter. The chapter where I was like, how do I live? What am I even doing here? What is going on? I'm so lost. I'm so empty. So that is the first chapter. And my book spans pretty much 3 years, from 2021 to 2020. 21, 22, 23, with a little bit of 2024 because I'm still working on it and I can't help but put my current life onto the pages as I do them. So, you know, to reflect that first chapter back in 2021, it had to be mint. It just had to be mint, right? And so Tiffany Julia just has inspired me so much, and she makes, you know, an appearance in my book with the mint colors. And that's what I mean by, I just want to share this video kind of even just to track it for me in how, look at that whole journey. I would never have known this is where it would lead me way back in 2021 when I first fell in love with Tiffany Julia's channel, which then led me to Liz Lamoureux, which led me to taking journaling courses, which led me to teaching journaling courses, which led me to Sabrina Ward Harrison, to taking her course, to now publishing, or on the road to publishing my own book. I mean, look at that journey. It's just crazy. And, you know, I have Tiffany Julia to thank for that. And if I go right back, you know, I've got Johanna Clough and all the other journalers in between to thank for that, because I wouldn't have discovered Tiffany Julia without junk journals. So junk journals has just led me into taking courses, teaching courses, and publishing a book in my style. And I don't know, it's just really amazing. I hope you enjoyed this kind of video sharing that process, but I'll do a proper flip through of this later on. But I just want to share something here as well and give a sneak peek of what I've been doing in my Unfurling journal. So Tiffany Julia has been talking about this course for quite a while. So since, you know, I've been following her really intently since 2021, and seeing her own unraveling journal and unfurling process, it's resonated with me ever since she first talked about it. And I knew whenever she released that course, I would be on it. I would be doing it because it speaks right to me. And like I said, I'll do a proper flip through and go through page by page, but just want to share like a sneak peek here. Sorry about the siren in the background. And I'm just really having fun journaling, taking inspiration and guidance from Tiffany for this course, getting a bit out of my comfort zone, trying new things, trying new layouts and all that kind of stuff. And it's just been really, really fun. But what I wanted to share as well with this journal is I kind of did it deconstructed. I've never done this before, but where I don't know what pages I want, so I just did it one at a time. I did this page first and I was like, oh, what do I want for the next page? This one. What do I want for the next page? This one. What do I want for the next one? And I did it that way, rather than having it all set. And whatever pages are there is what you have to work with. This one I got to choose the pages as I went along, sort of like a deconstructed journal, and then I will bind it in at the end. Has anyone ever done that? A little tip for anyone who's like me and who likes that full control of the pages. That's why I say I like blank pages, so I can decorate them how I want. The only issue with that is that the pages get so bulky because you have to glue everything on top. If I can start with the page that I want, I don't need to glue anything on top. So like I don't have to glue double on top. So that's why I deconstructed it, because I only have a narrow spine. That's essentially why I did it. If I had more pages to play with, I would have just gone ahead and bound in lots and lots of pages. But because I have limited space, I was like, well, I can't stick on heaps and heaps and heaps like I usually would. So I did it deconstructed, and I don't know, it makes it a bit of extra work to do it this way, but I'm getting the exact page that I want for every single page spread. I don't know if I can be bothered going to that whole effort for the second signature though. I might just bind it with all blank pages. But it was fun for this first signature, and that's a little tip or trick I can always go back to if I ever do want to specifically choose each page as I go along. And maybe that helps you at home if you're watching and you're like, I want to choose each page. Deconstructed signature, that is something you could do. I mean, I know people do things like flow journals with the elastic and bindings and things where you can take pages out and swap them. I prefer sewn in signatures though. I just love that look. So this is how I'm getting around it this way. Anyway, so I'm up to this page here with about personality, and that's kind of what I want to share about too, is why I reckon I just resonate so much with Tiffany Julia. I think of her as a bit of a kindred spirit, as a fellow journaling kindred spirit, because we both love self-discovery, and that's what her Unfurling course is about. A lot of it is self-discovery, and I haven't really found any other specific junk journalers who also like talking about self-discovery and psychology and that kind of stuff. So I'm just so thankful that Tiffany Julia does share that kind of stuff, because that's what I love talking about. That's what I love learning about. That's what I love sharing on my channel. Though I don't know if many people are interested in that, because I know lots of people are just like, can you just get back to the art? Can you just get back to the journaling and not talk so much about, psychology and stuff like that? But for me, that's what I want to talk about. And I love that Tiffany Julia also talks about that too. And just case in point, we are both INFJ. So one of the prompts is to do the MBTI, which I love. I discovered MBTI when I was back in high school, and it was one of those things that changed my life. Light bulb moment after light bulb moment. And it was the thing that allowed me to finally embrace myself, because up until that point, I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought I had to change. I thought I had to be like other people. And it was through the MBTI that I learned, oh, no, this is just the way I am. And it's okay to be like this. And actually, these are strengths that I can use and that I can bring into the world. Anyway, so I am INFJ, and so is Tiffany Julia. And when I read this, I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's me. Like, because at first I'm like, I don't know if I am an INFJ, because when I first did it, 20 years ago, I was an ISTJ, but I've worked really hard on developing my F side especially. And when I had depression and anxiety, my whole personality just got tumbled through like the washing machine, and that's when all my feelings came out. Up until that point, I suppressed them, which is why I was a T instead of an F probably. But ever since I've learned to embrace emotions, I always come out as an F now, which is really, really interesting. And I feel like that journey has brought out my N side, where I now trust myself more, whereas before I didn't even. There's this whole other journey with the whole depression, anxiety journey. I would treat myself quite harshly and all that kind of stuff, and I still tend to do that, but I'm learning more and more each year to give myself grace, to give myself compassion, and learn to trust myself and embrace who I am, rather than try to fight against myself and make myself, I don't know. So anyway, I just want to read this one out. So INFJs are idealistic and principled people who aren't content to coast through life. Yes, oh my gosh, that is me. They want to stand up and make a difference. For these compassionate personalities, success doesn't come from money or status, but from seeking fulfillment, from helping others and being a force for good in the world. So that's what I always believe in for other people too, is we can always bring good into the world. No matter what's happened in your past, or how people have treated you, or how you've treated other people, or how you treat yourself, everyone can bring good into the world. And I'm here to bring as much good into the world as I can. I mean, I fail at it all the time, of course, because I'm human. But I keep trying. Every day I get up, I want to bring good into the world. And, I'm not content to coast through life. I'm all about intentional living. I don't do well at just letting life happen. I'm a person who wants to live the best I can at all times. While I have lofty goals and ambitions, they shouldn't be mistaken for idle dreamers. People with this personality type care about integrity, and they're rarely satisfied until they've done what they know to be right. Oh my goodness, yes. This is why I think I have like a stressful temperament, in that I'm always constantly stressed. Not necessarily like a bad thing, and not over the top. Just a constant level of stress of I want to do the right thing, and if I'm not doing the right thing, I'm destroyed. I'm tearing myself to shreds. And even when I am doing the right thing, maybe I'm still constantly, but I need to do the next right thing. I need to do the next right thing. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, it's all here on the page, right? Conscientious to the core. Yes, to a fault. This is my curse. Like, I'm always thinking, always over analyzing, always stressed, always worried, because of that conscientiousness. It's a double-edged sword. They move through life with a clear sense of their values. Yes, if you've taken the Intentional Life course with me, I live a values-based life. And they aim to never lose sight of what truly matters, not according to other people or society at large, but according to their own wisdom and intuition. Yes, in the past, though, I have been swayed by other people and society. I tend to be a people pleaser, and I've tended to try to fit in even when it has gone against who I am. And I've had to really work on that one too. Like peer pressure was a big thing during school. And yeah, probably my depression and anxiety journey had a lot to do with me sort of trying to fit in with other people's expectations and culture's expectations, and it just kind of fell apart and became a complete mess. So that's why probably I've gotten back into the N side of things, because I've learned more to stay true to me rather than try to fit into expectations. So interesting, that put it into words there for me. They come across as somewhat reserved. Yes, I don't know if that comes across on my channel, because I'm putting on sort of like my public persona. We're different when we're with people in public, with strangers, than we are with our family, for example. We're different out in the public than we are privately. And so on my channel you see my cheery nature, you see my cheeriness and my bubbliness and my joy, whereas you probably wouldn't see any of my brooding and my stress and my anxiousness. That I keep quite internal. And that's what I mean as well by how, when I talk about the mental health journey type thing, people have this misconception that the happiest people, they can't possibly have depression, but sometimes it's the happiest outward looking people that struggle the most, because they're the ones that hide it. Does that make sense? And so, yeah, people might look at me on the outside, which they did when I went through depression and anxiety, and be like, wow, you're just so cheery and you're so happy all the time. And I'm like, you have no idea what's going on under the surface. I'm very reserved. I tend to be quiet in my real life. I tend to not share struggles, that kind of thing. So anyway, so they might come across reserved. So yes, that's me, but they are fueled by a profound internal passion. Oh my gosh, yes, actually people do see that. People have described me as passionate and spirited, sort of like a go-getter. If I want to do something, I just go ahead and do it. Stimulated by deep reflective thought. Yes. Oh my goodness, this is me. This is me to a T. And an enormous amount of empathy. They dedicate themselves to the pursuit of purpose. Oh my gosh, yes, that is my life in a nutshell. And with the Intentional Life course, and even with my channel, every video I put out, I'm trying to do it with a purpose, whether it's to bring a bit of joy, a bit of peace, a bit of inspiration, a bit of creativity in people's lives. And yes, I'm one of those people who, even if a complete stranger, if a complete stranger is crying, I'm crying. I can't help it. And I kind of think that one goes ahead along with my nature of how I've talked about this on my channel too, that I believe even in the people who are like what others might consider like the worst of the worst, I will still advocate for them. I will still believe the best in them. And even people who have done like terrible actions, I will still cry for them and my heart will go out to them. And sometimes I can get in trouble for that, because people are like, how dare you feel empathy for people like that? And I'm like, but I can't help it. My heart goes out to just anyone and everyone. So this is just like every single thing here, I resonate with me. It resonates with me. And so I have questions like, am I really an INFJ? But when I read this, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's me to a T. And knowing that, Tiffany Julia is an INFJ too, it's like, oh, see, this is why I feel like she's a kindred spirit. We're both deep thinkers. We want to live with purpose, all this kind of stuff. And this quote here, treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them to become what they are capable of being. That's, I guess, goes along with that empathy thing I was talking about, that I always believe the best in people, or want to believe the best in people, even when maybe their actions don't line up with that. I will always be people's cheerleader and advocate, and I will always be moved to tears when I see people hurting and suffering. Even if maybe other people think they might deserve it, I will still cry for them and that kind of thing. And I'm here to, I'm trying my best to build people up, and I know I don't always succeed at that, which I apologize for, but I do try. And every day, I'm trying to let people know they are loved and valued and seen. And again, it breaks my heart whenever I don't do this. But it's no good just to be like, well, I messed up that time, I'll just give up. No. I'm going to keep trying every day, keep trying again and again each day, because that's my nature. I can't not try. This is me. And so yeah, this is something that I want to add to this page. I'll just like write down the key points. Like maybe I'm gonna have to write out the whole thing, but I'm gonna put that on that page there. So anyway, this has been a bit of a mixture of different things that I've shared in this video, but just tracking my journey of how important, you know, different people have been in my life. Tiffany Julia, Liz Lamoureux, Sabrina Ward Harrison, and at the very beginning, Johanna Clough. And then my journey, like going into journaling courses and teaching them, and I always want to be taking journaling courses. So after I finish Unfurling, I already have the next course that I want to do, and after that, and the next course, and after that, the next course, because I always want to be growing, I always want to be learning, I always want to be feeding and nurturing and looking after my own soul, because that's the only way, you know, I'm going to be able to exist in this world. And second, that's the way that I can feed others best. So I always want to be taking a course and teaching a course. So I'm both, you know, receiving, but also then giving. So this is my current course that I'm taking, and the current course that I'm teaching is the Everything Journal course, which is combined with the Intentional Life course, and quite similar to Unfurling actually, because of course it's going to be, because I'm going to be teaching out of my own life and my own way of being. And so it's all going to be about self-discovery, intentional living, living with purpose, nurturing the soul, self-care, well-being, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, check out her course if this is sounding up your alley, if this is resonating with you. But yeah, I definitely recommend maybe this course, or the self-discovery side isn't necessarily what you're into, and you're just wanting, you know, creative techniques and just journaling. There are so many courses out there. Look at Get Messy, look at Wanderlust, look at maybe Liz Lamoureux's courses. There are just so many out there. So yeah, check them out. They are amazing. I can't speak highly enough of taking journaling courses. So if you are feeling, I don't know, lost, empty, like I was, lacking inspiration, lacking purpose, I believe there is a course out there for you, whether it's, you know, just a creativity one or a self-discovery one. There's a course out there for you, if that's something that resonates with you. I mean, maybe it isn't, but that's the thing that helps me, and so I want to pass that on, if that's going to help you out there too. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, but go check out Tiffany Julia, send her some love and support. She's got a wonderful channel if you haven't discovered it yet. She has beautiful journals. She makes gorgeous page spreads, and she teaches wonderful courses. I've taken another course with her too. I think it was called Summer of Self-Love. And I took another one called Mindfully You. So yeah, check out her courses, all of her courses. But yeah, loving this one, and I'll be back at some point to share a bit more of an in-depth flip through of my pages, but I will continue working in this. And kind of one of the reasons why I'm not sharing an in-depth flip through yet is just because I'm mostly journaling, wanting to keep this journal for my eyes only at first, so that I can go sort of to that deep place. And I'll cover anything if I need to, if it's like too personal or private, going through some hard stuff as I write them down. But yeah, just wanted to keep it like an internal process first of all for me, and then when I'm ready, I'll share page by page with you guys. And hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, this is going into a long video, but I am so thankful for you watching and being here and supporting my channel. And go check out Tiffany Julia and send her some amazing love and support as well. Thanks guys. Big special thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in December. If you would like to support me in the month of January, I would be so ever grateful. Becoming a patron gets you access to extra videos, including my monthly journal series where I make a journal from start to finish each month. The Ruby tier gets you access to every single digital kit from my Etsy, as well as a new kit each month. And there's different tiers. There's some mail tiers and a journal tier as well. So feel free to check those out. If you'd like to take any of my courses, those are down below in the description box as well. And all the links and places to find me are down there too.